Mike Heck here with the former UFC flyweight and bantamweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, Triple C himself, Henry Cejudo, getting ready to face Uriah Faber tomorrow night in the main event of RAF 6. And Henry, we are here. Wrestling continues to grow. RAF continues to grow. Who better to have in the main event spot than Triple C himself? How excited are you to go in there back on the mats tomorrow?
Sold out. Sold out. I mean, when you hear about a wrestling event selling out, you know, it's that crossbreed of mixed martial arts and wrestling coming together for the greater good of the sport. And 85% of former fighters, former champions, come from a wrestling background. So it just tells you how powerful and great the sport is. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. It's not even for me, man. I'm doing this shit for the sport. And I was, after Payton beat me up, I wasn't trying to do anything but just focus on business. But because of this great sport of wrestling, I'm coming back. And I want to put on some good combats for you guys.
Biggest takeaway from your last fight with Payton Talbott? You wanted to go out there and put on a show, and I think you did. The crowd gave you a standing ovation, not just because it was your final fight, but because you went in there and you fought your ass off, and Payton went in there and had a great fight, and you gave him everything you could, and then the UFC gave you the send-off that you so rightfully deserved. What was the biggest takeaway from that night, the build to that fight, and competing against a young up-and-comer like Payton?
For sure. This is the thing, man. Like, we always have to give, you know, we always have to pass the torch. You know, even though upon my return, I didn't do as good as I planned, but obviously my love was elsewhere too, business, family, the whole nine. So I also get it too. But I'm at peace. I like Payton, man. Like Payton, he came out. He was humble enough to come down for a few days to learn from me. He was there when I was hurt when I fought Marab with the groin. We just did sprints, but I was able to really kind of just hop him out with a lot of like the mindset stuff, and taught him the inside trip, which he caught me in, and. But that's how the cookie crumbles, man. I gotta be able to give back to the sport, and sometimes you gotta fight your friends, or you gotta fight people that you know, and it is what it is. He's a hell of a fighter, and if he plays his cards right, he could get very, very far.
You were asked this. I don't remember if it was at the media day before that fight or if it was in the post-fight media after. You were asked about your first retirement and if you regretted it going the way that it did. And it was a little fresher in your mind, and you had a million things going on in your mind. So I don't know if you actually answered that to the way you wanted.
I think if I had Khabib money, I'd be done, 100%. You know, because you've done everything. I've done everything. You know, to go back and take a bunch of L's, like, you know, it sucks, but. For family, you'll do anything. So yeah, and I've always said this public. Yeah, I would have never came back. So it's not the love of the game. It's the love of the family. It's the love of having that lifestyle that you want for them. And I make really, really good money. You know, to the point where I'm helping other people, you know, create the same system that I'm doing. Whether it's real estate, the content business, or a lot of this, you know, exhibition stuff.
I've always wanted to ask you this, and I'm glad you're standing next to me. If you could go back to UFC 249 and finishing Dominic Cruz, if you could go back to that day and hop in the magic time machine, would you have done that differently?
No, because this was my decision. Nobody knew. Not even Captain Eric with the briefcase. This was my decision. And when it's your decision, it is what it is. So none of these guys knew. None of these guys knew. None of them. So it was a surprise to everybody. And plus, man, I was just, you know, you want other things in life. And I went out and I did what I said I was going to do, start a family. I did that, got 2 kids later. Like, I was able to kind of give that. I never thought I'd be coming back fighting. That was never my intention. But I said it'd be cool. It's Saturday night. My kids are going to be there. And it's not fighting, which is great. I never want to put that pressure on them. But I'm glad and happy to see my kids, you know, be there and watch their dad, you know, do what he does best, and that's wrestling.
If this version of Henry Cejudo that's standing to my right now could go back and talk to that guy who retired at UFC 249, what would he say to that man?
Stay retired. Stay retired. But like I said, it's not the love of the game, it's the love of the family. And I just want to give a big shout out to, you know, so these are some of the other things that I kind of came up with now. You know, I'm an owner of One Water, which is distributed already out nationwide through Amazon. I mean, it's the most innovative bottle right now in the world. I mean, they got technology, they got Innovation Technology of the Year ahead of Coke and Pepsi. So these are a lot of things this is a $1 billion brand. You guys are going to be seeing this. So you guys, you know, we're going to be getting a lot of mixed martial arts wrestlers involved, just promoting their brand. So if you guys see One Water, it's better than Fiji, it's better than a lot of these brands. And it's, you know, wrestling and MMA made.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see you. You're so happy and doing well. Look at that. Look at those bottles. Very intuitive, very innovative.
Yeah, they interlock. So you're able to save 35% of shelf space on anything.
And hydration.
Oh, that's great. So.
Oh, thank you, Ben. Last question I wanted to ask you. You do a podcast with Kamaru Usman. You guys get clipped off all the time now, as you could probably see, and sometimes misquoted or misguided in some directions. But if you could play matchmaker for Kamaru right now, I know he wants to fight Islam Makhachev. Doesn't seem like that's the case. So if we're looking at this from like a realistic, through the UFC lens right now, Kamaru Usman versus blank.
I talked to him. Honestly, I'd like to see Kamaru versus Bilal Muhammad too.
Yeah, that's the one.
I mean, that first time it was a scrap. Like I said before, man, Bilal almost kicked me. But that's just me. I like to create stories. I know Kamaru really doesn't like him, but I guarantee you if the UFC entices him, you fight him, you win, you fight for the title, he'll do it. Or he goes up to 185 pounds, talking about DDP. He fights him, he beats him, he's to get the next title shot. Kamaru's, he can see the finish line. He wants to. He's not in it for the money, man. He's in it to be the best in the world, and he wants one last shot at it before he says goodbye.
Love it. Henry, appreciate the time, man. Congrats on the water here. Very excited to see you back in the wrestling mats tomorrow against Uriah Faber. Main event, REF 6.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.